Hi, this is Talking Music, and this is Dylan, and that's Lyssie.
Hopefully this recording is okay. I'm in an odd spot of the microphone right now because how I normally sit, Dee Dee's laying there. So
Dee Dee took over.
I'm like on the side of the microphone right now. So hopefully it doesn't sound too off. But we're here.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. But just in case it does. Hello, welcome to Talkin Music. I'm Lyssie and that's Dylan.
Hello, hi, and today we'll be talking about 40 Ounce to Freedom by Sublime.
Oh.
And we're gonna get right into it because, oh boy, it's a long one. It's a long one. Anyway.
And I think that my thoughts on this album are going to quite literally... You have 3 water bottles, all with different levels of water in them. Why?
I have a problem.
I was wondering why our water bottle supply was running so low, and you're the reason.
I take a lot of water to work.
Anyway,
I like drinking water, making sure everything's moist, and we're doing these we're talking and stuff, so.
Anyway, I think my opinion on every single song of this album is probably going to be the same.
Well, anyway.
I really don't think I have a whole heck of a lot to talk about with this one.
Anyway, Lyssie, what's your history with Sublime?
None, really. None until I met you. I mean, I knew of Sublime, like, forever, because Sublime's just, like, one of those bands similarly to, like, Nirvana, where it's, like, I feel like you're born out of the womb and you know who this band is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're just one of those bands.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Metallica, everyone knows Nirvana, everyone knows Sublime, everyone knows the Misfits, like, you know what I mean? It's just...
Well, I wouldn't go far with the Misfits.
I feel like maybe it's because I'm alternative.
They know the logo, but,
yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, they wouldn't know, kind of. They just know, oh, the Misfits, but they don't know.
I feel like everyone that I've ever met has heard of, like, the Misfits. And I feel like that's how it is with Sublime, is, like, every person I've met at least has heard of Sublime. You know what I mean? Might not actively listen to it. Like, you'll hear more Metallica and Nirvana on the radio before you're going to hear Sublime or the Misfits. You know what I mean?
You hear Sublime on the radio a lot.
That's fair. But it's just one of those things. You know what I mean?
Nothing from this album, though, really.
But, yeah, so, like, I knew who they were. I just never really cared to listen to them. And then I met you, and I listened to them, and it's kind of just... I'm not a big Sublime person. I don't really vibe with most of their music. And I even said this to Dylan. I might have said this in the last podcast when we announced that we're doing this album, but if I did, I'll repeat myself. If not, well, I'm saying it for the first time. I would rather listen to the Dirty Heads than I would rather listen to Sublime. I just don't really vibe with them.
I mean, understandable. Some people love Nirvana, Nirvana. Wow. Some people.
Everyone should love Nirvana.
Yes. So, there's people that hate Nirvana though, but some people love Sublime. Some people hate Sublime. It kind of depends on your vibe and your, like, taste in music and stuff. The kitty is going ballistic out there.
What was that?
That was probably the tunnel.
Yeah. She's playing with Ghost.
Yeah, I know.
Ghost is out there.
Yeah. We got a kitty if you haven't.
If you don't follow us on Talkin Wrestling, we talked a little bit about it. We won't go too much into detail. We have a child. But yeah, we have a 3-month-old kitten now.
Yeah, so she's going nuts. But my history with Sublime is kind of like, yeah, you pretty much know it out of the womb. I think maybe like the first time I can remember hearing Sublime was we were sitting outside, maybe camping or maybe just outside in my dad's yard, like around the campfire, and like he probably had like 90s alternative on Pandora, because this was a Pandora time, wasn't Spotify time, Pandora, and What I Got came on, and I remember the line specifically, I can play a guitar like a motherfucking riot, and I'll just say I was like 7 or 8. I don't know how old I was.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa, hell yeah.
Oh, you scared... Oh, I can lay down. You scared Dee Dee.
I'm sorry, Dee Dee. He's going to see
So now I'm going to adjust.
He's going to see what's going on there.
Oh, Jesus.
But And from that point forward, pretty much, I always loved Sublime. I've always loved the vibes of Sublime. Um, I get why people don't like him, but I like him. I have a Sublime tattoo, and like as Lyssie said, I have a Dirty Heads tattoo as well. We were talking about Dirty Heads, and I can understand because a lot of people do prefer Dirty Heads over Sublime as well.
Mhm.
Now, have you ever listened to Sublime with Rome?
I know you've played some Sublime with Rome songs um, throughout the past 5 years we've been together. I have not actively gone out of my way to listen to Sublime with Rome.
You're better off.
I have not actively gone out of my way to listen to Sublime.
But you know like the hits. Like if What I Got or like
Yeah.
Santeria came on, but you probably didn't like know any of these songs. Maybe like Smoke Two Joints.
I know Smoke Two Joints.
And maybe Date R.
Yeah, I know that song.
We can't say the actual title. But yeah, that's kind of like my history with Sublime.
You say it weird.
It's Sublime, but Sublime.
Like you say it so weird. It's one of, like there's another thing, and I can't remember what it is that you say really weird. But not like I'm not trying to like make fun. Oh,
wow,
she's playing with Dee.
It's
I'm not
Sublime,
trying to like
but
poke
I say
fun.
Sublime.
Yeah, but like every time you say it, I'm just like how Cody instead of saying serious says serious.
I always had a habit of when I was a kid of pancake. I would say pan-a-cake.
Pancake?
Yeah, pancake.
You're so weird.
Yeah, it was when I was learning how to talk, fire truck was firefuck.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so Sublime, Subliminal. They're from Long Beach, California, because of course they are. They're a California band. It makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah.
They're ska punk, reggae rock, punk rock, alternative rock.
You want to feel your teeth shrink
Did
out
I-
of your skull?
No, I'm okay. Did I say ska punk, punk? They're dub. They're a mixture of fucking everything.
When I think of Sublime, I think of reggae.
Fair.
That's as far as I go with it.
Fair.
I know they have some like punk covers,
Mm.
and I do like their covers a lot. Because I feel like they stick true with the initial sound of the band. There might be some covers I'm unaware of that they don't. But the ones that I've heard,
no, there is. They have some originals too.
Okay.
Yeah, they have some originals.
But there's some that the ones that I have heard I do like. But when I think of Sublime, I think of just reggae, chill vibes.
That's fair. That's fair. So the original lineup of Sublime was Bradley Noel. He was the lead singer, lead vocals, lead guitar. He died in 1996 when they were going to release their self-titled album, their major record label debut. He died prior to the album release due to a heroin overdose. So he's no longer with us. Unfortunate. And then you have Eric Wilson. He is bass, backing vocals, Bud God drums, and occasional backing vocals. And they're still a band now. They obviously stopped when Bradley died, and then there was a lot of spin-off bands and everything. They reunited with Rome, and they were known as Sublime with Rome. And then now they dropped Rome, and now they're just Sublime again. And they have Jacob Noel, Bradley's son.
Which I think that's really cool. Because I know
the
the
lead
one
singer.
time Dylan was watching an interview with what's his name again? I'm so sorry.
Brad.
Was watching an interview with Brad, and like the part that I like kind of walked in on and was like noticing was, I can't remember specifically, like, because I was about like halfway through his conversation of him, or his story of him explaining this, but about like how I think he was backstage at a concert or something. And
You're talking about the son interview.
yeah, with his son.
So Jacob. Yeah. I thought you were talking about a Bradley Noel interview.
No, Jacob. And how he ended up like having this out of body, like almost like spiritual experience of like, he just had like this overwhelming feeling because he was like not sure if he should be doing it or if he shouldn't be doing it. And he had this like feeling of just his dad being like, this is what you're supposed to do. And I thought that was really cool. So I'm happy that his son's taking it over. And
there's people out there saying like, "Oh, he's a nepo baby" and stuff, and it's like, no, like if honestly, like I haven't really like checked out like his he was in a band called I think it was like LAPD. I could be wrong about that. And then Jacob's Castle. I heard more of Jacob's Castle than the prior band, but I knew that he was making music because like obviously you always get like those news like who is it Tony Hawk's son and Frances Bean, right? They're together. Like you hear stuff about that, like, oh, Frances Bean is married to Tony Hawk. So it was like, oh, Jacob Noel, this baby from this picture that always goes around with Bradley Noel, this kid is now the singer of his own band and everything. So I was like, oh, let me check this out and everything. So I heard stuff, and honestly, who better to fucking do it? He sounds like his dad at times.
Yeah.
Like the coolest thing that they did, they just released a new song a couple months ago. And it's a newer song, but there's old like tracks of like vocal tracks of his dad in the song too. So it was kind of like this is the past Sublime with the future Sublime. Yeah. Which is really cool. So I don't think he's a nepo baby. I'm glad he gets to do it and stuff. And they're keeping it around, you know? Like they're keeping Sublime around and shit.
Nirvana's the other one you say weird sometimes.
Nirvana.
You say Nirvana.
Nirvana.
You say Nirvana.
Nirvana.
That's what it was.
Nirvana.
Not trying to poke fun at you. I just think it's cute.
Nirvana. Anyway. 40 Ounce to Freedom. It is the debut album from Sublime. It was released June 1st, 1992.
I wasn't born yet.
Lyssie, what were you doing in 1992?
Underdeveloped.
Okay.
Incredibly underdeveloped.
For context here, there's 2 versions of this album. Little fun fact. We'll get into this. There is the Skunk Records cassette version. And then there is the MCA Records version. The version that we listen to that's on Spotify is the MCA Records version.
What's the difference?
We're going to get into that in a couple of minutes.
Dylan makes this really hard for me.
So, 40 Ounce to Freedom is the debut studio album by America's ska punk band Sublime. Released on June 1st, 1992 on Skunk Records, it was later reissued by MCA. 40 Ounce to Freedom sound blended various forms of Jamaican music, including ska, which you can hear on the song Date R, Rocksteady, which you can hear on the song 5446, That's My Number, roots reggae, which Smoke 2 Joints, and dub, Let's Go Get Stoned, DJs, along with hardcore punk, new thrash, hope, and hip-hop, as in Live at Ease. So, I need to find... Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to find the... Okay, in 1990, music student Miguel, we're just going to call him Miguel, he becomes, like, kind of like an unofficial member of Sublime. Okay. Approached the band offering to let the band record in the studio at the school where he was studying. The band agreed and broke into the school at night, where they recorded from midnight to 7 in the morning. So mind you, when you're listening to this whole album, they're recording this at midnight, between midnight and 7 in the morning.
What do you do between midnight and 7 in the morning?
I sleep. Yeah, you weren't supposed to be there after 9, but we'd go in at 9:30 and stay until 5 in the morning sometimes. We just hid from the security guards. They never knew we were there. We managed to get 30,000 worth of studio time for free. Jesus Christ. But so they were literally trying to like not pay the record. Which, you know, makes sense. Release history. There we go. Yeah. So, the album was reissued by Gasoline Alley Records and MCA with a different track listing, removing the song Get Out and hidden track Rawhide due to copyright issues. Get Out contained unlicensed samples, and Rawhide, which appeared at the end of Day R, was an uncredited cover of the theme to the TV series of the same name. However, in the album booklet, the lyrics for Get Out are still printed. Additionally, other unlicensed samples were removed from the songs. We're Only Gonna Die for Arrogance and Let's Go Get Stoned. The re-edited version was released as a picture disc limited edition vinyl album in 2002, following the 6th anniversary of the events of 1996. A limited edition vinyl was released through Hot Topic in 2010. So the reason why there's 2 different versions is the original version had 2 extra songs, and there was a lot more of samples, because I don't know if you noticed, in the songs, there's a lot of fucking samples in these songs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them. But they were unlicensed, uncredited and stuff, so they had to re-release it.
So is that cassette version, has that been like published and is out in the world?
Oh yeah, it's out in the world. I'm sure you can find it and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure you can find it. It's Sublime 40. Let's just see. I
wonder if that's gonna be like an interesting one for whenever we go to different record stores for me to keep an eye out for, because that's probably something that would be cool to have.
Well, you would just have to look at the track listing. If it has a song called Get Out on it, it's that one.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's not. Let's see, Skunk.
Records.
Shopping. I don't think these are it.
Probably not.
I mean, the CD's like $300.
Woohoo! Whoa!
Record label Skunk Records. Can I look at these pictures?
So you're probably gonna have to go to the eBay app.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Yep. I found the CD.
So that's an interesting one to like just kind of keep an eye out for like thrifting or
like it's literally the same album cover, same back, but it would just say Skunk Records there, and as you can see, track 2, Get Out.
Interesting.
And like the songs, you can find it on YouTube even.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just like, obviously, yeah.
But you like collect.
Yeah.
Like vinyl, and I mean, I collect cassettes, but it'd still be something cool to have.
No, either way I'd get that no matter what. Peeing on my notes. Okay. So. There's a lot of album facts and stuff, but to sum it all up, this album sounds like a goddamn party. They were having a party in the studio, getting free studio time. They had to fucking reissue it, release it on a different record label.
Oh. Hi, Cass.
So, we're gonna get into this because there's 22 in our version. 22 tracks. 22. It's a long album.
And I have, oh my god, Ghost, you're gonna fall. And I have not much to say about all of them.
Oh, don't you? Why do you gotta be all mean and sad and stuff?
What is she doing?
I don't know. Should I go see?
Yeah.
Fill in the people.
Oh. Well, there's 22 tracks on this album. A lot of them sound like if you're just kind of vibing at a beach house with a pretty lady and you got like some grass on you and you're just living life, maybe got like a pina colada in one hand, a titty in the other, and you're just kind of vibing, you're just kind of chilling, and you're just here for some titties and weed. That's the whole vibe I get from this album. The whole 22 songs of this album is just titties and weed.
Titties and weed.
What was she doing?
Being a little diva.
She wasn't stuck in anything?
No, she was just playing with boxes.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. Okay, anyway, hi, welcome back. This podcast broke down really fast. Let's get into this. Track 1. Waiting for My Ruka. Listen, what do you think of Waiting for My Ruka?
I don't know what I think of Waiting for My Ruka.
That bass is wild.
Oh, this is the one with that good. Yeah, this is the one with the really good bass. Okay.
I remember when I had my little shitty 98 Blazer with a blown speaker and the song sounded like ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it blown speaker and like the bass was like broken too. So it would just like boom and it would vibrate.
No, okay, yeah. I will say that like I am a sucker for a good bass.
You are the best, Bradley. Bop bop.
I think I remember saying that like I thought that this was a pretty solid open to the
It is a solid open.
But it's gonna be reiterated a lot in this album for me. A lot of these songs blend together as one to me because listening to this album felt like I was listening to one long song. To me, there wasn't a lot of differentiation between the songs. So going through these names, it might just be like, I'm sure it sounded like reggae and ska, and I'm sure it kind of sounded like a chill vibe. So you're gonna have to pardon me on that, but
I might have to play like snippets for you.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Because honestly, like
this was Waiting for My Ruka.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, no.
I can't play too long. I don't want to.
I did like the bass line in this. And I do like how the song opens.
Yeah.
Like the opening of the opening song.
With
Lou
Dog. We forgot to talk about Lou Dog. They have a whole fucking mascot, bro.
Yeah.
An actual dog, a Dalmatian, Lou Dog.
I will say I do love that.
And they still keep it up with Jacob's dog.
Aww.
They have Jacob's dog now. So, track 2, 40 Ounce to Freedom.
I know I've heard this song. Yeah. Yeah, I know I've heard this song more than enough times just between your existence in my life and whatnot.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how to really talk about this album. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts first.
I didn't really have a note for this one. This track's always just been like there. It's a good one, but like it's a good one, but it like when I'm looking at the track listing, I literally see it sandwiched between two great songs because there's two songs coming. And then, there's Waiting for My Ruka, then the next track, but then the track after that, I always see this, and I'm like, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I want to get through this one.
It's kind of like a decent bridge to the next couple songs.
Like, I feel like if it is the title track, it needs to be a banger.
It needs to stand out. It's not a banger.
It needs to be a banger.
It's like just okay.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
It's a good song.
You'll be shocked by some things I have on here. Anyway, next, track 3, a cover of The Toys' Smoke Two Joints. Did you know it was a cover?
I didn't.
Because it's literally us. It's the most Sublime song ever, right?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a cover.
I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints, and then I smoked 2 more. Yes, it is a cover from a 1983 reggae band.
Oh,
yep.
Well, that's cool. I really like this song.
Yeah.
I really like Smoke Two Joints a lot.
Because it's the most Sublime song ever?
Yeah, I guess. And honestly, whenever I hear this, I'm 99% sure I could be so incorrect about this, and maybe I've made it up, but I feel like I just remember Kevin at my old job when I was working at the tattoo shop walking around and just saying that.
Yeah.
Like, just saying that line.
I believe it.
So... but it's one of those songs that, like, granted, it is a very Sublime song, but for some reason, like, to me, I also feel Dirty Heads with it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if Dirty Heads were to do a cover of this, I don't know if they have or not.
They haven't. It would be cool.
But if they were to do a cover of it, it would make sense and it would be fucking killer.
I love this song.
Yeah.
I love this song. You know what other song I like? That's track 5.
What?
Track 5, We're Gonna Die for Our Arrogance, which is a Bad Religion cover.
Oh yeah, I like this one too. I like this
They're just pulling covers out of their asses.
Again, like when they do covers, at least for this one, it still keeps the vibe of the original song. Now, granted, I do like a cover.
But this cover is like Sublime, but with the Bad Religion vibe at the same time.
Yeah, and I do like covers that bands use their own sound and like completely change it. Like, for example, Johnny Cash's version of Hurt is so different than the Nine Inch Nails one, but like it's a really fucking good cover. I do like when things like that happen, or even like it's pretty common, but the Pop Goes Punk fucking or Punk Goes Pop albums and shit where they completely change the sound of the songs. I do like that, but for Sublime, I feel like they did a really fucking good job at keeping the feeling of this.
What about just, they just put 2 covers back to back on an album?
Well, again, in fairness, I would have went the rest of my life not knowing Smoke Two Joints was a fucking cover. So...
That's fair.
I didn't know that, but good for them. And 2 very, very different sounding covers at that. You know what I mean?
The next track is Don't Push. There is a better version of the song on the EP Jaw Won't Pay the Bills because it sounds more raw. But do you remember what
No.
Don't Push?
This just sounds like another Sublime song.
Well, yeah, it is.
I know.
She's got a face that looks like Bob Marley.
Fucking, I will, one thing.
The Job Won't Pay the Bills version is better.
I really like the one-liners that come out of Sublime, because sometimes they just be saying shit.
I just love that Sublime. This was the thing I forgot to mention. Some songs sound very happy, but then you read the lyrics and they're fucked. They're fucking dark.
They're fucked.
They're fucking dark.
No, the one thing I did enjoy about listening to this album is just like something like that, like a random fucking lyric will just pop out of nowhere that just kind of makes you go, wait, what the fuck did you just say? And I always get down with that, so.
Like I said, there's a better version of it on the EP.
I would probably like to hear the raw version of it too at some point.
I could find it.
Well, no, I'd like to listen to the whole thing.
Well,
Can't listen to the whole thing right now.
Well, yeah, but here. Like, there's more bass in it.
Yeah, I can already tell.
And it's kind of like, it's like slowed down a little bit.
I like how the vocals sound better on that one. Yeah,
it's like slowed down. The next song.
I'm a sucker for a raw version of a song.
Is a cover by the Toots and the Maytals. Never heard of them. 5446, that's my number, / Ball and Chain.
Okay.
The song is so fucking long though.
Yeah.
It's long, there's trumpets. It's a vibe though. I don't hate it.
I like that vocal style a lot.
I don't hate it, but at the same time, maybe like there's 22 songs. That could have maybe been off the album.
Could have been off the album, shortened.
Yeah.
Not 25 minutes long.
It's 2 songs because 5446 is the cover, but then they do a song called Ball and Chain.
Why did they put it
I don't know. I can't even ask. I can ask Jacob maybe. Bud or Eric. I don't know. I can't ask them. I'm not friends with them. I would like to know.
I'd like answers, please.
I would like to know. What were you guys thinking? What was Bradley thinking?
Why you gotta why couldn't you make them 2 separate songs, or at least taking one off the album?
The album starts getting like really good, like right here. No, track 7, Bad Fish. It's a hit. You remember Bad Fish? That's Bad Fish.
I hate to say it, but this is not one that stuck out for me.
You don't like Bad Fish?
It didn't. Here's the thing. Like I said, this album to me feels like one long song. So there has to be something in this album that like drastically changes for it to really, really stick out to me.
You don't like Bad
And
Fish?
this,
Bad
I'm
Fish
not gonna say it's a bad song, but it didn't pull me away from when I was driving to be like, oh shit, what's this song?
It's a very dark song.
To look at it and go, oh, okay. And like it didn't stick out.
It's a very dark song.
Well, maybe it's something that I'd have to read the lyrics on and get more of like a better opinion on
Well,
it.
here.
Because
We'll pull up some lyrics. Because the song is about people who have drug and alcohol addictions.
Okay.
They're a bad fish.
Okay.
But it's a fun fact. The intro of like it sounds like they're at a bar with like the "shut up, excuse me."
Mm-hmm.
It's actually them at a bar.
I love that. That's good.
Let's just go to let's go to like building up to the chorus. 2 pints of booze. Tell me, are you a bad fish too? And then the chorus, ain't got no quarrels with God, ain't got no time to grow old. Lord knows I'm weak. Won't somebody get me off this reef?
Oh, that's sad.
Right?
That's sad.
Trying to see if there's like some wild one-liners in here. Baby, you're a big blue whale. Grab the reef when all duck diving fails. I swim, but I wish I never learned. The water's too polluted with germs.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Right?
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's dark. Like when you sit and think about it, you're like, fuck. Like shit.
Well, lyrically, and I feel like that's a lot with Sublime, is like lyrically they're on point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bradley's always been like real.
I just wish that to me there was more variation.
They have a song called Pool Shark.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally, it's about his heroin addiction. And literally the lyrics are, one day I'm going to lose the war.
Well, that's fucked up.
And he died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah.
Do you know how he actually, like what, do you know the story or anything?
No.
So Jacob was not even like one. His son wasn't even like one yet.
Mm-hmm.
They just got married, him and his wife, and a week later he overdosed. He got clean. He was clean for a little bit. But I guess he wanted to shoot up that like one more time to probably just feel that high.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. He had a troubling addiction with it. Moving on next to probably one of the best titles to a song ever. Let's Go Get Stoned.
Oh God.
And the intro.
I swear sometimes you're taking me for granted.
I swear. Do you remember Let's Go Get Stoned? It's very hip hoppy.
Yeah.
Very hip hoppy.
Yeah, I know I like okay, yeah, I liked this one.
It changes it up a little bit for you there. Some hip hoppy.
And that's I like the heavier influence of hip hop in Sublime. Like the Sublime song that has a heavier influence of not just like straight reggae, which I think is why I like Dirty Heads more, because I feel like Dirty Heads has more of that hip hop in them.
Well, yeah, especially now.
Yeah. And that's what I really like about the reggae hip hop mix. So when Sublime does it, it's really fucking good, of course. And I just wish that there was a little bit more of that in this album for me and for my taste.
That's fair. Let's Go Get Stoned. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Words to live by.
Hell yeah, brother. Moving on next.
Oh my God, wait, real quick before we move
boy.
on. I won't say any names in the event of getting anyone in trouble. But before I left work, or actually not before I left work, it's maybe an hour before I left work today, one of my coworkers, the one that likes to skateboard in the morning,
Yeah.
told my other coworker, someone that I close with a lot, that asked me if when I was dancing the other day if I was doing the hot dog dance because that dance is fire. Well, she said to him, oh hey, before you go, pull a cone out from my middle console. You could take it home for you. No one deserves to live sober. And I'm like, what?
Hell yeah, brother.
Like, what is happening? But I didn't know what she was talking about at first. I was like, a cone? And then, like, I just kind of looked at her and I'm like, oh, Yes, I understand what you're talking about.
Anyway, moving on. We get a little punky, and that's with New Thrash. Do you remember New Thrash?
Not off the top of my head. Oh yeah, I liked this one. This one made me want to rip down the gate of our now closed Zoomies and grab a skateboard and fucking grind off of a security guard's face.
It's a Sublime song. It's
Yeah.
not a cover.
They just pulled it out of their ass.
Yep. It's a good bridge between Let's Go Get Stoned and the next track, Scarlet Begonias, which is a Grateful Dead cover.
Really?
But do the vocals sound different to you? It doesn't sound like Bradley, right? Give me a...
Oh yeah, no.
Because it's not, it's Miguel.
Oh.
Bradley does the rap breakdown in this, which is not in, obviously, the Grateful Dead version, but I literally have written, the rap breakdown is my favorite part of this and makes the fucking song.
Why do I feel like I've heard this version more than I've heard of the Grateful Dead one?
Because I prefer this one over the Grateful Dead one.
Oh, okay.
So, because of the rap breakdown,
Yeah.
I love the Grateful Dead version, of course. I love the Grateful Dead, but I just like this version a lot more because the keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for boppy keyboards.
Yeah.
And Bradley's rap breakdown. And I'm going to pull up the lyrics because the rap breakdown is so fucking good. Sublime. It was the summer of love, and I thank the stars above because a woman took her love over me. And just to gain her trust, I bought a microbus because I sold all my personal property. A tight tie-dye dress, she was a psychedelic mess. We toured the north, south, east, and west. We sold some mushroom tea. We sold some ecstasy. We sold some nitrous, opium, acid, heroin, and PCP. And now I hear the police coming after me. It's so good.
What a vibe, dude.
It's so good. And it comes out of nowhere in the song, so it's like, fuck yeah.
It's like, oh, all right, we're doing this right now? Okay, cool.
Moving on next, that is Live at Ease.
I remember you being like, this song doesn't need to be here, but it's funny.
It's funny,
Yeah.
but it doesn't need to be here. It's literally them just fucking making up rap verses.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it, like, Eric has the best one of, like, my name's Eric and I got nothing to say because I'm not a fucking DJ.
I do like stuff like that thrown onto albums. They're like, yeah, technically...
like, how long is the song? It's 3 minutes long. It probably could have been cut down to, like, a minute and a half.
Like, technically, it doesn't need to be there, but I feel like it's a good, like, break.
It's a good bridge into the next song, DJs.
Yeah.
Which is about
Makes sense.
DJs.
Yeah.
Which is a really good song. Real Big Fish did a cover of this.
Oh, you did that?
Yes.
You know, that's not surprising in the slightest, actually.
But No Doubt has done a cover of this.
Okay.
Gwen Stefani's done a song with them before.
Really?
Saw Red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But what did you think of Live at Ease and DJs, since it pretty much they blend into each other?
Well, Live at Ease was funny, but I do feel like it was very, like, direct into it. So I remember listening to it, and then I looked over at the radio, and I was like, oh, we're in the other song now.
Yeah, it goes right
like,
in.
oh, shit.
Because, like...
Oh, yeah.
It just, like, fades
It's,
right
like,
in.
fades immediately into
Obviously,
it.
on vinyl, it fades better.
Yeah.
With not streaming, but...
Yeah, with Spotify, there's always going to be, like, a teeny tiny bit of a hiccup.
But, like, vinyl, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
It's CD, even. Moving on next. Holy fuck, man. Fuck Christ. Chica Mi Tipo. The song's all in Spanish. You want the English translation of this?
Sure.
Do you remember what it sounds like?
No. Oh.
And he's just singing in Spanish. It's not Caress Me Down. But he's just singing in Spanish. I don't really care for the song. But the lyrics. My kind of girl. It doesn't matter what she wears because everything will come off. Oh, but I can see it. Not even her figure.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
What?
He's going wild. When we started, it didn't hit me that later I would have to pay. But if things can change, I'll sleep with you. I don't intend to preach, live and let live, but a friend is a condom in your pocket. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a liar. I'm just a poor man, and now I'm so lonely. But if things change, she will be mine. To be kept as my property. My property. I've got to get it on with you. Oh, what can I do? I would lay down any time with her.
Reading that in English feels like something has definitely got lost in translation. Like that I don't know the first thing about Spanish.
Me
I'm
either.
gonna say that so directly, but I know in Japanese.
He did a whole song in Spanish though.
Well, yeah, good for him. In Japanese, sentence structure's backwards than it is in like American. So like, if you were to ask like, "Hey, where is this?" In Japanese, you're saying it. This is where type of thing. So like things are backwards. So I'm wondering if like in the way that you say things in Spanish and when you translate it over into English, if it just like the sentence structure gets convoluted, because that feels very convoluted a little bit. But I think that's cool, honestly, because I listen to music in different languages a lot. It is mainly like J-metal and whatnot, and J-pop, a little bit of K-pop here and there when I'm really feeling it. And I think it's really cool when bands that are like maybe like specifically in English, American, end up like using other languages in their songs or maybe making an entire song in a different language. I think that's a really nifty little twist on things. So
Yeah.
I mean, I never mind that. I know you don't mind. I know the reason you're not a fan of it isn't because it's in Spanish. You know what I mean?
I just don't I don't like the even if it was just an instrumental, I really don't care. Like that's what it is.
You're not here for the vibe of the song.
Cuz like I can like before I looked up I know I looked up the translation years ago to be like what the fuck's he singing about and stuff, because one of my favorite Sublime songs is Caress Me Down, which is sung in partly Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, like, it's all in Spanish. I knew it's always in Spanish. I know that this track was on here, and I was like, so I always like tone out his voice and just kind of listen to the instrumental, and it's like as an instrumental track, it's like I just don't, not up my alley.
No, I mean it is what it is. It's a song. It sounds like Sublime. It has the Sublime vibe.
There
to
is
it
a
and
Sublime
whatnot.
vibe to
You know
it,
what I mean?
but it's just not for me.
But I'll at least give it like the extra tokens of throwing a whole other a song in there in a whole other language.
When it's a fucking 22 track album,
They're just doing whatever at
I
this
know.
point. They're just like, you know what else can we add to this?
This was a social experiment.
It was like it's like this drink, right? This drink that I got today because I decided I was going to be ridiculous. And 9 times out of 10 I don't like I don't add every single thing on the ticket because I don't want to be embarrassed. But this is, and this feels like the Sublime album to me of just let's see what the fuck we can add.
Sublime album.
A venti caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino with a caramel brulee, no dark caramel sauce, oat milk, frappuccino chips, extra caramel drizzle, cookie crumbles, added cinnamon dolce topping, and extra caramel crunch.
Smoke weed. That's Sublime.
I should have added some fucking mocha drizzle to this. Some strawberry puree. Honestly, probably could have added some dark chocolate curls.
All right, moving on.
And that's a Sublime album for you. Let's see what we can throw in there.
Moving on. Right Back.
So I'm just making sure this is still going.
Right
Yeah.
Back. This is one of my favorite songs off this album. Fun fact.
Okay.
I like the song a lot. Do you remember Right Back?
Nope.
Sleeping by yourself and I can make you
This is the one.
feel
My girlfriend's a little hoe.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this one.
It's a really good song. It's a storytelling Sublime song. He's telling a fucking story, and I always love that shit.
Yeah, no.
I love that shit. He's telling a story.
Well, I do like the randomness in this album of some stuff. I will always be here for a song that has like a start and finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that. That's cool.
Moving on next to What Happened.
Ooh.
There's really good trumpets in the song.
It feels like I must have some fun.
Yeah, so this is the song that I was like, this is the Dan Townsend theme. And I was like, okay, so fun fact, the reason I don't like ska is because I don't like trumpets in ska. I will say this is an exception because I like the not the fucking just tequila part, but like it does a da 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 da, but then it
It's a
doesn't
catchy
kind of
fucking
repeat
song.
it goes like da 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 da, and I like that part, like going into like the next verse.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that has a very smooth transition, and that just sounds very yeah, it like scratches that itch in the back of your head as I'm scratching the back of my head. But it just has like a very satisfying feel to it.
That's fair.
So I out of all ska songs that have trumpets in it that I have degraded and hated, I will say that's not one of them.
Fair. I like this song. I love trumpets. I like the catchiness of the song. Moving on to track 16.
Oh my god.
That is New Song.
Payback's a motherfucking bitch, but they won't see.
I like the vocal distortions on this song.
Yeah.
Like I like
That's what I have written down.
so here's the thing. Throughout this entire album I've been trying to find stuff different in each song that I could at least point out of like I liked this one thing from it. You know what I mean? Cuz again, I feel like there was not a lot of variation in instrumental wise. But I really liked the vocal distortion that they added to this song where it's like I don't know how to explain it. It feels wavy. You know what I mean?
See, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm over here saying about this song is kind of what your issue was of I feel like I just heard this fucking song.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel like I expect 22 fucking tracks. I feel like I've heard this fucking song.
Yeah.
I never really cared for it growing up. Never really, like always being a fan of Sublime. Like it's on the playlist, but like like it's just always like a thing. Like okay, I guess. Moving on to Eben.
I hear the fucking fleas crawling on my nuts.
It's
A good vocal distortion again.
It's a storytelling song, but I do not like this song.
I like that the vocal distortion with the way that this song feels kippy. Like the instrumental kip to it, but like just like you said, I feel like I've already heard this song.
Like,
I feel like I've heard this song 17 other times
the
on this
song
album.
is skippable for 2 reasons, and those 2 reasons are the next 2 tracks. Of like, I just want to skip so I can get to these next 2 tracks because these next 2 tracks are really good. And then the next track it was the big hit off of this album. They Are.
I have a lot of feelings about this
A
song.
straight up storytelling song. He tells a story. It's a fun song, instrumental wise. The lyrics are dark.
I have a lot of feelings of
And
this song.
this song is what did it for them. It blew them up.
Okay.
It blew them up. It got played on K-Rock radio. Blew them up. They have a music video. They don't condone the R word.
I really appreciate that in 1992 that this song was put out and it was as direct as
Yeah.
you possibly could be with this. It was as this shit happens. This is fucked. This is what should happen to these fucking men that do this shit. You're a piece of fucking garbage. And, well, luckily in the story of the song, the judicial system actually did what it was supposed to do. That doesn't happen 90% of the time in cases like this. And I really appreciate that this song was put out in a time where I feel like a lot of this might have been more taboo to talk about, especially going into the early 2000s, where, like party lifestyle really took over in, like, the youth and whatnot. And then we even get into bands that I feel like can correlate enough with Sublime in the alternative scene where, like, pedophilia was so normalized and, like, these, like, I'll just say it straight up, like, bands like Blood on the Dance Floor were able to get away with having 13-year-olds on stage and, like, groping them and shit and talking to minors and shit like that, where a lot of that same type of stuff, that I could say a lot of alternative bands have taken influence from Sublime, have just ignored and cultivated. So I feel like this was a really important message to send extremely early on, and I'm really grateful that that not only was this a song that took this band to the next step, blew up, but that they were the ones to say it and do it. With that being said, and I know that this is gonna be fucking crazy, I don't like this song.
You don't like the song?
I don't like this song for the exact reason as to probably why they don't want me to like this song. Every time I hear this song, I get really fucking uncomfortable. And
I think it's supposed to be
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This song is supposed to not be easy to listen to. It is supposed to be uncomfortable.
They distract it by happy instruments.
Yes, but the point of this song is so blunt and to the point you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Even with all the happiness going around it. That's maybe, like, and maybe I'm going too deep into this. Maybe that could be a symbolism of just, like, there's a lot of dark shit that people are trying to cover up with everything's fine, everything's gonna be okay, this, that, and that thing, but it's not, and it's never going to be, and you need to fucking hear this. But with that, I cannot listen to this song as a person who is born a woman and has experienced, not this exact story, but has experienced things similarly in this vein. It makes me very uncomfortable and I don't like listening to it, but I'm glad that I don't like listening to it because it really just drives that point home enough. So I have like a mixed bag of feelings on this song. I appreciate its existence. I'm happy they did this and I'm happy they were direct about it, and I'm happy that it makes me uncomfortable and I don't like the song.
I was just seeing if like in today's day and age, if they play it, and they do. It's still on their set list. I just thought maybe it'd been one of those songs of like, maybe we shouldn't, or maybe we should.
No, I think it's very important that they still play it.
No, they still play it. Yeah, it's literally always in their set.
But yeah,
recently.
That is my full undisclosed opinion on this song.
I like the song because, again, storytelling song. It's a dark message, but also tells a pretty good message. Yeah. Like you said. And I also like Bradley's vocal delivery in this song.
Yes.
Like, the vocal delivery is really good because it's fast, but it's somber at the same time. And also really angry of, like, example, she screamed, she lied, or he screams, she lies, that little, like, but, like, putting the anger in, like, the guy's voice saying what he's saying. Yeah. So it's pretty, like, or, like, the inmates, I hope you get butt raped by a large inmate. Funny line. Yeah. Funny line.
Funny line, true line. Because it's like, I don't feel bad for you. Funny line. Funny. I do not feel bad for you.
It is tongue-in-cheek at the same time of, like, shit. So I like it. Moving on. I wrote, I'll tell you the title in a second. I wrote, I often argue with myself of which version is better, this one or the Descendants version. And that is Hope which is a Descendants cover.
Okay.
I often argue to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yep.
Now,
Oh, my day will come.
now you've heard. Now here's the Descendants version. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
They kept it the same.
Yeah.
And I love the Descendants. I love Hope. I love Sublime, and I love it. I always am like, fuck, which version is better?
I think they're too similar to really pinpoint one or the other being better. Overall, I like the song.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is like, I love that they just have this. And
another song that makes me want to steal a skateboard and fucking shred on someone's face.
And a little fun fact about this, I could have like timelines a little bit messed up with Milo going to college and stuff, but when Milo went to college, obviously the Descendants took a break because he was going to college, and during that time Sublime became a thing. They released this song, and it kind of reintroduced people to the Descendants.
Mm-hmm.
And Milo, like always, is like, yeah, that's pretty much their song now. But it's a good song. I fucking love this cover. And honestly, that should have been the fucking closing track. Because moving on next, the KRS one. Skip, wrap it up. I don't give a fuck. Wrap it up. Fucking wrap it up.
Take it home, boys.
This is. Do you remember KRS one?
No.
It's an acoustic jam.
I'm over it. Next.
Yeah, it's fucking next. Skip to the last track. It's technically not the last track. We'll get there in a second. Is Rivers of Babylon. I have Skip, wrap it up. Oh my god. This is Rivers of Babylon.
Nah.
The only thing I like
I like
about
the claps.
I was gonna say the only thing I like about this, it sounds like they're around a campfire smoking weed.
Yeah.
Just fucking jamming.
No.
So I understand, like, when you listen to this album front to back, you understand kinda the order. Like, you understand why these songs are placed where they're placed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really about it, because the last track is technically Thanks, which is just them reading the fucking liner notes over a fucking beat. I hate it. It goes on for 4 minutes.
The king, where's my mic stands? Martini with his 40 ounce in hand. To Jai Dodds and his son Kristen.
Like, they literally go, thanks to the Bad Brains. And like, why is this here?
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, man.
It's funny.
It is funny, but holy fuck. I'd rather just read the liner notes.
Oh, I feel like I've aged 30 years since we started talking about this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm surprised I actually had a little bit more to say about it than I thought I was going to.
Well, let's see. I need to get back to the album. What were your favorite tracks
Give me because I have to look
off of this album? Your 2 favorite tracks.
What was the one with the fucking Dan Townsend song? Was that a new song?
What happened?
What happened? Oh, I
Yeah.
was close to it. I'll say I'll pick that one. And I'll pick Hope.
Damn, okay. So if you're picking Hope and you're picking What Happened, god damn, my guy. Then I'm going to pick. I don't want to be that guy and pick They Are, so I'll pick the other hit, Bad Fish.
Okay.
Because I feel like we need to throw one of the hits on there. Of like, this is Sublime.
Okay.
So I'll do Bad Fish. And for funsies, because you took Hope, we'll put Smoke Two Joints on there.
It was between Hope and Smoke Two Joints for me. But I like Hope more.
So all those songs will be added to the playlist. Smoke Two Joints, Bad Fish.
Dee Dee, what are you
Um,
looking at? Oh my god, Ghost is slumped.
What happened? And Hope. What is your least favorite song off this album?
I don't know, man. I couldn't tell ya.
What is your least favorite song off this album,
Let
Lyssie?
me look at it.
What is your least favorite song off this album?
I'd feel wrong saying Date R, because I don't hate the song as its entirety. I just feel uncomfortable listening to it, which again I feel like is the point. So I'm gonna go with the one that's the two songs in one. The 5446, that's my number, Ball and Chain. Because why is it two songs? Is it still recording? Did you just bump it and stop it? No, you didn't. We're good. Like, why?
Yeah, mine's gonna be Eben.
Okay.
So, yeah. What would you rank this album out of 10?
I would say out of 10. And let me explain myself.
Oh boy.
Out of a 10, I'd say a 5. And the reason I'm saying a 5 is because it's right down the middle. And while I personally don't like this album, and I am not a Sublime person, and I felt like this was a very one-noted, I heard this song a million times before, and I'm still listening to the same type of album. Put together, this is not a bad album. This is a very cohesive album, and I feel like with this being their debut album, with the, like, while we do have a majority of Sublime vibe songs, there are pieces of hip-hop, there's pieces of punk, there's pieces of ska in here, and this as a very cohesive explanation as to this is what Sublime is. If anyone were to want to listen to Sublime and get into Sublime, I would say you should listen to 40 Ounces of Freedom, because you are going to understand exactly what type of band you're getting into by this album. And I think collectively it is well put together. It sounds great. It is just not for me, and that's why I'm putting it out of 5, because while I think all of that is great leading up to the 5, the rest of it is, I'm never going to listen to this album again. I will not actively put this album on with my own doing. Maybe there's a couple songs off here I will pick off and just be like, yeah, I could listen to this. I could vibe to this right now. But to me, it is just not something that I care for.
Fair.
Beep, beep.
I am giving this album a 7. I feel like it's safe for me to say a 7. It's not the best Sublime album, but it's not the worst Sublime album. There's only 3 Sublime albums. It is the self-titled album's the best one. Robin the Hood's the worst one. We'll probably review the self-titled album one day eventually. That has What I Got on it, Santeria, all that on it. Robin the Hood is, you're not ready for that. That's I'll just say this, they recorded Robin the Hood in a lot of crack houses.
Well, maybe I'd like it.
No, it's a lot of like reggae dub stuff.
Oh.
Like it's like dub. It's crazy. You're not ready for it. But like Lyssie said, I would, if you're getting in the Sublime, yes, I would start here. Not only because it's a debut album, but because you get a flavor of what Sublime is in pretty much every song. Is the album too fucking long? Yeah.
Way too long.
There's songs on here that shouldn't be on here. But again, it's not a garbage album. I understand why it's meant to sound like you're at a party.
Mm-hmm.
The production sounds like that. I like the production. It doesn't sound too polished, but it also doesn't sound really shitty. Pretty fucking good production. Pretty good production. I like shitty production on certain things. I also like super polished on certain things, depending on what it is. But for Sublime, I think they found the happy medium. And I like it. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Well, Lyssie, what fucking album you gonna torture me for next episode?
Well, There was an album I was considering.
Oh boy.
Right? And I was like, this is gonna kill Dylan.
Oh boy.
But then
Oh no.
I changed my mind.
Oh no.
And I don't know if this is gonna kill you or not.
Oh no.
I feel like this kind of falls in to the same vibe that not the same exact vibe that you're bringing with Sublime, but
Oh, boy.
Sublime's a pretty chill band. You listen to this music and it's all really chill
Oh no. What are we
and
doing?
whatnot. So I figured, let me give you what I would consider my very chill, like an eye for an eye, if you will.
Oh boy.
We are going to be reviewing The Now Now by Gorillaz.
Oh boy. What fucking songs are off that album?
I don't even know if you know a single song, but my favorite Gorillaz song is off of this album. But it was released in 2018, so it's a bit newer.
One. Oh boy.
But The Now Now by Gorillaz. I don't know if you know a single solitary song from here.
What was like the hit off this album? Was it the Snoop Dogg song?
Maybe. The reason I even like listened to this album to begin with is because when I was working at Journeys, there was a Gorillaz song from this album on the little like TV CDs that we had. And I was like, this song fucking slaps. And I decided to sit down and listen to the album.
Because I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I think like looking at like their songs.
You probably know like 3 Gorillaz songs off the top of your head.
No, I know a whole album's worth at least. I've at least listened to Demon Days.
Yeah.
Like the whole album.
And I was half tempted
like,
to go a bit easy on you and go the Demon Days route.
See, you should have Feel Good Inks on here. I
Yeah.
know that song.
But I was like,
I remember Dart or what was it? Dirty Harry.
But I was like, I'm gonna throw a loop at you. We're gonna go Gorillaz, but we're not gonna go the what you'd expect Gorillaz route.
Oh boy.
So that's what we're gonna be doing.
Oh boy. Well, at least I got 2 weeks to fucking not listen to it.
And again, I feel like it could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse because I was really debating on throwing a Trixie album at you, but I felt like you were preparing for that. So I wanted you to get whiplash.
Would have been banging my head against the fucking wall.
And maybe you'll love this album. Maybe you'll really like this album. Or you could really fucking hate this album. I feel like I remember when this came out, and I could be wrong, I feel like there was a lot of, like, discourse about this album of people really liking it or people not liking it.
I don't have much to say about the Gorillaz.
Well, you're gonna have a lot to say in 2 weeks.
I know, I'm gonna have to fucking do research and shit.
We're gonna have to figure some shit out. But,
Fuck.
with that being said, I think we can close this out.
Yeah.
I don't think we got much more going on here, so... Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, however you want to classify this as. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Send it to some musically inclined friends, people who might be interested in Sublime, or people who are way too into Sublime that you want to have them bang their head against the wall listening to this podcast about. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can. It is at Talkin Music Pod. That is TALKIN_MUSIC_POD. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not giving you my fucking Facebook. Oh my god. Instagram and Twitter at Lungtar. That is LUNG_TAR. You can find me on Blue Sky, also at Lungtar. That is LUNG_TAR. And maybe for the next day or two, you can find me on TikTok at Lungbucks. That is LUNG_BUCKS.
They're banning the talk.
They're banning the talk. Maybe we'll see. And Dylan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DillWeaves, DYL _line, WEAVES _line, and on the Twitter at Danny Vallow, DANI _line, VALO _line. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
And tune in next week to see if Dylan has plucked his earballs out. Your earballs.
I probably will.
From listening to the Gorillaz.
Well, like 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Did I say a week?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, if I said a week, I'm talking about 2 weeks.
Fucked it up.
Yeah, I did. Well, goodbye.
Hit end.